So the next topic would be the jacket.
It's your turn, so yeah, go.
Okay. So basically, so Erling Roberts said on the day of the murder to a reporter that Oswald left wearing a short gray coat, regardless of what color she described it as being. She said it was basically a short gray coat. Whether it was light or dark is indifferent to my point. We have Oswald leaving the room in the house wearing a jacket, and she testified to the Warren Commission that he was zipping it up as he went out the door. Helen Markham said the jacket was grayish tan that the killer was wearing. Domingo Benavides said it was light beige. Barbara Davis said it was a dark coat, and then Virginia Davis said it was light brown or tan. Ted Calloway said it was light tannish gray. Sam Ginier said it was light gray. Scoggins said it was light colored or light blue. Bill Smith said it was light brown, and Jimmy Burt said it was light colored. Okay, now obviously Warren Commission Exhibit 162 was found underneath a car behind the Texaco station, where I told you earlier, Mary Brock places Lee Harvey Oswald with a light colored jacket on. Okay. Marina Oswald told the FBI that Lee owned a light gray jacket. The jacket that was found under the car had microscopic fibers inside one of the sleeves. This was per an FBI report found by Dale Myers when he was at the National Archives. In this FBI report dated December 1963, it said dark blue, gray, black, and orange yellow cotton fibers were found inside the sleeve. Now, they also removed test fibers for comparison purposes from the shirt that Oswald was wearing when he was arrested. And these test fibers were the same, they were also dark blue, gray, black, and orange yellow cotton fibers. So when you compare microscopic fibers forensically, you're doing so based on three characteristics: color, shade, and twist. The colors, shade, and twist, these fibers that were found inside the sleeve of the jacket found under the car behind the Texaco station, were the same exact color, shade, and twist as test fibers removed from Oswald's arrest shirt. And my biggest question is, when he left the rooming house, Oswald had on a jacket. And when he's seen by Johnny Brewer testified to the Warren Commission that Oswald had no jacket on when he saw him out on the sidewalk, ducking into his little vestibule there at the shoe store. Why did Oswald get rid of the jacket between the rooming house and the shoe store? Forget 10th and Patton. Pretend like Oswald was never at 10th and Patton. Forget the jacket found under the car behind the Texaco station for a moment. He's at the rooming house, zipping up a jacket as he goes out the door. He's at the shoe store on Jefferson with no jacket on. And that's according to Johnny Brewer's Warren Commission testimony in 1964, no jacket. Nobody's ever been able to answer for me satisfactorily, reasonably, why Oswald ditched his jacket between the rooming house and the shoe store.
So what are you not telling listeners? What are you omitting from that?
I pretty much made my case right there.
What do you think I'm going to say?
Go ahead and say it, Matt, whatever you're going to say.
This is a good question. What do you think my response is going to be?
Well, when I asked you last year, you said, we don't know what happened to the jacket that he was wearing when he left the rooming house.
Exactly. And now I have a better answer.
Well, you don't have a better answer. You have a different answer, but it's not better. It's not any better.
It's better. Yeah. I did. Yeah, correct. Okay. So first
of all, bring up what Johnny Brewer supposedly told Oliver Stone's crew.
Okay. So first of all, you declared that the fibers found in the jacket match Oswald's shirt, right? And same thing with round one last year. I did not really have a good answer for that either. I brought up, cross-contamination and that stuff. But I'll just say this:
which there's no evidence of.
Out of the millions of pages in the National Archives, only a single page, random page, claims this. Wasn't mentioned in the Warren report or testimony. Wasn't mentioned by the HSCA. Who did the alleged test? When? Where? Where are the test results? Where are the lab reports? See, we don't know jack. All we have is a single random page claiming this. Absolute hearsay.
It's an FBI report. It's an FBI report, Matt.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's in evidence.
It's just
That
one.
says
There's only one page in the National Archives that mentions this. It's just one page.
it's
Just one
how many
page.
how many reports do you want them to make? 8
It's
reports
just a claim.
so that you can be happy and say there's 8 pages?
Who
One report.
who did the test?
The FBI. It's an
Who?
FBI report.
I want names. Who did it? Who?
You tell me.
No, I'm asking you. You're making the claim.
My claim is that these fibers were compared forensically,
Yes.
and they were amassed, the same color, the same shade, and the same twist. And we when we're done, we can post
The test.
information about this report in the discussion section. It's not a
It's just
problem.
one information. You see what you did to slide that in there? No, it's just one page that claims this. One page.
How many pages do you want there to be? What difference does that make?
Where I just asked you the question. First of all, who did the test? Who did this test? Alleged test. Who?
I said I have to look it up. We can post the information about the FBI
No,
report.
again, there's only one page. It doesn't tell you. It doesn't tell you who did it. Who did it? Tell me. You don't
Matt,
know. We don't know.
There's an FBI report, Matt.
Yes, I know. It's one page.
My claim is that there's an FBI report that was found in the National Archives in College Park, Maryland, that says the fibers found inside the jacket
I know what you're saying. I know what you're
were
saying.
a
No.
dead match with
that
the
is
fibers taken
CD7.
from Oswald's arrest shirt.
I know what your claim is. That's CD7 page 352. I know. But no, tell me, who did the test? I want names. Since you're making the claim. Who did this test?
I'd have to go look up that information.
There is no information. It's just a single page.
So because you haven't been able to find it, there's no information.
You're the one who's making the claim that there's evidence.
Because you haven't been able to find it means that there's no information. Is that what you're saying?
There's nothing else.
Let me get you to commit. Let me get you to commit. Are you saying that there's no information about who did this that can be found out there about who did this examination?
If there was, it would be published in your favorite book, but it's not. All we have is a single random page that just suddenly claims this. Listen, for the listeners reading, we know who all the other items of evidence that were tested. We know the names of everyone and of who tested them. And, we have papers and results and everything. But this is just a random claim on a random document in the National Archives. We don't know, and it wasn't mentioned in the Warren Report or the HSCA or in. So who did the alleged test? We don't know. When was it done? We don't know. Where? Where are the test results?
The testing was done by lab technicians at the FBI.
Who? I want names. Who did this?
Lab techs at the FBI. That's
names.
all I know. But it wasn't like privately contracted out or anything like that. These were lab techs at the FBI.
Where are the test results? Where are the lab reports? Where are the notes? We have nothing. We just have a claim on a random document. That doesn't cut the mustard, bro. It doesn't. We just have a claim. We have a claim. A claim.
We
don't have evidence. We don't have evidence. We have a claim. Anyway, you said Johnny Brewer, he testified he saw Oswald with no jacket. But, and you asked me about that, and I gave a bad response. I said, well, we don't know. But I do have a better answer now. Or
before you get to that, let me tell you this. This isn't with malice, okay? FBI. This is regarding the fibers and the report found by Dale Myers.
Yes, it's
FBI RIF 124-10009-10499. It's an FBI memo from Jevons to Conrad dated December 3rd of 63, which I already stated. Now, it says here, since fiber characteristics are not exclusive to any one particular shirt, the results of the FBI lab exam only mean that the fibers found in the gray zipper jacket came from Oswald's arrest shirt or another shirt of the same material, which is what I've always said. Nearly 4 months after this report was complete, the Warren Commission initiated an investigation into the jacket's laundry tag in an effort to identify the owner, adding, the jacket has been identified by certain witnesses as the jacket of Oswald, even though Matt Douthit said that's not true. But we would prefer more exact identification. This is House Select Committee Assassination RIF 180-10060-10246, which is a letter J. Lee Rankin to Hoover, March of 64. Now I'm almost done. Former Warren Commission counsel David Beelan was asked in 1998 letter why the Warren Commission never used the lab report to establish ownership of the jacket or to show Oswald's presence near the Tippit murder scene. In his reply, Beelan wrote, there already was overwhelming evidence to tie Oswald to the Tippit murder shooting in light of the positive identification of Oswald as the man with the gun by William Scoggins, Barbara Davis, Virginia Davis, Ted Calloway, Sam Gideon, and Helen Markham. Moreover, Oswald was apprehended with the murder weapon in his hand, as confirmed by the cartridge cases turned over to the police by witnesses at the Tippit murder scene. At the time of the Warren Commission investigation, experts retained by the commission determined that individual fibers, like hairs, are not unique. Under all of the circumstances, I did not believe that the quality of the evidence compared with the ballistic identification of the cartridge cases found at the murder scene. We know now through DNA analysis that hairs can be identified as uniquely coming from a particular individual. In other words, they didn't think it was worth it. And he's probably right. Because all the fibers will tell you, and this is what I also was going to say, all the fibers are going to tell you is that whoever was wearing the jacket either was wearing Oswald's shirt when he was arrested, the shirt that Oswald was wearing when he was arrested, or they were wearing a shirt with the exact same fiber characteristics.
Again.
So therefore, no one is using the fibers found in the sleeve, the microscopic fibers found in the sleeve of the jacket, as proof that Oswald was wearing that jacket. We're simply saying that the fibers found in the sleeve are a dead match with the fibers taken from Oswald's arrest shirt. And there's no evidence of any contamination either, cross-contamination.
So you said so what you read, you say it's not, no one's claiming as proof. Do you know what the name of the chapter is that you just read that from? Proof positive. But anyway, okay. So
that doesn't, nobody's claiming, no, and Dale Myers in his own words specifically spells out in parentheses, and I read that. So
again, everything you just said.
He specifically spells out that just because fibers were found in the jacket that matched the shirt does not mean as a fact that Oswald was wearing that jacket. It just means that whoever was wearing the jacket was also wearing a shirt exactly like Oswald's with the same fiber characteristics.
Are you done?
So get back to like what happened to the jacket Oswald was wearing when he left the rooming house, between the rooming house and the shoe store. Because Johnny Brewer told the Warren Commission in 1964, as a fact, he was directly asked if Oswald was wearing a jacket. He said no.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so everything that you just read does not debunk anything I just said. Like I said, all we have is a claim on a single piece of paper that these fibers match. It wasn't mentioned by anyone, anywhere. We don't know who tested it. We don't know where it was tested. We don't have lab reports. We don't have test results. We don't have notes. We do on all the other pieces of evidence, which is credible. Now, if there was all this stuff on this fiber evidence, then yeah, that would be convincing. But we don't. We just have a claim on a random piece of paper out of the millions of pages in the National Archives, just a claim. And it's not backed by anything. Probably they just, who knows, they probably threw it in there because some eager beaver like you might jump on it because they knew their case wasn't good. But anyway,
well, I'm just telling you, it's a memo from Jimmins to Conrad, December 63, talking about the FBI.
Yeah.
The results of the lab tests is what it is.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at the same page you are. Okay.
Right. Okay. So you asked the question. It's a memo.
Yes.
From Jevons to Conrad, dated December 3rd, 1963, discussing that lab technicians.
Who are the lab technicians? Who?
I have no idea. I've never seen.
We have no idea.
I've never seen the memo.
Hearsay. This is just a claim. This is just hearsay. It's just a claim. It's hearsay. We have nothing.
Why is it hearsay? Why is it hearsay?
It's a claim. We have nothing to go on.
Why is it hearsay? And do you ever rely on hearsay?
Forget about hearsay. It's a claim.
No, hold on a minute now. You talking about, you said hearsay. You talk about Al Chapman and Jimmy Burt in 1968. Jimmy Burt saying it was not Oswald.
We have the raw interview transcript of that interview. But anyway, getting back on track, this right here is just a claim. a claim that's not backed up by anything. Now, like I said, if we
It's
had
just a claim by Al Chapman. Also,
no, it's
no
not.
different.
We have it's in the interviews in the National Archives. Oh my God!
Matt, it's still just be.
No,
Is it audio? Is it
this is
audio or video or
this
film?
is
I mean, is it
listen.
audio or film? Jimmy Burt.
It's
It's
a
neither.
it's a transcript based on audio. Listen, I'm sure the audio is in there. I don't think anyone has gone that deep, but we have the transcript. I can post it for you. But anyway,
You
this
can't be sure there's audio.
this whole fiber thing is a claim. There's no evidence to back it up. It wasn't mentioned by the Warren Report or the HSCA or David Bellin in his who you read from in his book. It wasn't mentioned by anyone. It's just it's a claim on a single random page. And
Bellin did not mention the fibers because he didn't feel like when you already had the shells incriminating Oswald and the witnesses incriminating Oswald, the fibers didn't mean anything. And he's right.
We're talking about the fibers. So again, there's nothing to back this up on. I didn't have a good answer in round 1 last year, but so I think this was a better answer. Okay, so you mentioned Johnny Brewer testified that he saw Oswald with no jacket. And you say, oh, why would ditch his jacket? Well, as I pointed out a couple months ago, as I recently pointed out, if you sit down and talk with Brewer...
You pointed it out because I told you.
Let me finish. But as I recently pointed out, if you actually sit down and talk with Brewer, he'll tell you...
You don't know that. You have no way of knowing that. You have no way of knowing that.
I'm not even done making my claim, my argument, and he's interrupting. Okay. Third time, Jesus, as I recently pointed out, if you sit down and talk with Brewer, he'll tell you that he never read his printed Warren Commission testimony until 1991, and that actually Oswald was in fact wearing a jacket. Okay? So, and that is JFK, the book of the film, the documented screenplay, which had pages 173 to 174. So I'm turning it around on you. This proves that he didn't kill Tippit.
No, it doesn't.
Hold on. I just want to tell this to the reader, to the listeners. Never take at face value what a document says. It's always double check things with the actual eyewitnesses. Okay? Always have to do that. I think I said that earlier.
First of all, Oswald, Johnny Brewer said in '64 to the Warren Commission, they asked him straight up, was he wearing a jacket? He said no. But let's say for a second that Oswald was wearing a jacket in front of the shoe store. How does that prove that he didn't kill Tippit? Because Markham.
Your claim is that he ditched it.
No, but your claim it's two different things. You're trying to take two different things and combine them into one. Okay, your claim right now is that Oswald wearing a jacket, as supposedly seen by Johnny Brewer on Jefferson, is proof that he didn't kill Oswald. That he didn't kill Tippit. And I'm asking you, how is that possibly true?
Your whole argument is he wasn't wearing a jacket, so that proves he killed Tippit because he ditched his jacket. But I'm turning it around on you.
Forget Warren Commission Exhibit 162 and forget the jacket found under the car. Forget it for a second. You said that Oswald wearing a jacket on Jefferson is proof he didn't kill Tippit. And I'm asking you how. How is that proof?
Wait, say it again. I missed the last part.
Forget the jacket found under the car. Forget Warren Commission Exhibit 162. Forget that for a second. You said that by Johnny Brewer saying that Oswald was wearing a jacket on Jefferson, it's proof that he didn't kill Oswald. That's what you just they didn't kill Tippit. You said that that's proof that Oswald did not kill Tippit.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you, how is that proof?
Because if he's still wearing a jacket, for those that
every witness said the killer was wearing a jacket. Every one of them.
Exactly. Okay, let me finish. For those that don't know, the official story is that Oswald ditched his jacket.
I already said forget ditching the jacket, Matt. Forget that part. Every witness at the scene at 10th and Patton had Oswald wearing a jacket or the killer wearing a jacket.
Correct. So what are we talking about? What's your question?
My question is very clear. You said that Oswald, if he was wearing a jacket on Jefferson, which he wasn't, but if he was, you said that's proof he didn't kill Tippit. I'm asking you, how is that proof?
It's proof because the official story is that he ditched it, and if he is still wearing a jacket, then he didn't kill Tippit because
if he's still wearing a jacket, all it means is he didn't ditch it. It doesn't mean he didn't kill Tippit. How are you making that leap to that proving he didn't kill Tippit?
Because the official story, like I said, is that he ditched his jacket. Is that he did? By the way, it's your argument that because he was supposedly not wearing a jacket, that means he killed Tippit. That's what your argument is, right? So I'm flipping it around on you. Johnny Brewer, if you actually talk with him, says
I'm not saying because Oswald
I'm
wasn't
turning it
wearing
around. That proves that he didn't kill Tippett. See what I mean?
Oswald
I love this.
Oswald wearing a jacket on Jefferson, if he were wearing a jacket, which he was not, does not prove he didn't kill Tippett. That's an absurd statement. Every single witness to the Tippett murder or the fleeing suspect said he was wearing a jacket.
So why do you bring up the fact that he was allegedly not wearing a jacket when Johnny Brewer sees him? What's the point?
Because Johnny Brewer was very clear in his Warren Commission testimony, which you're claiming without evidence, really, that has been doctored or faked or false. Johnny Brewer specifically said in his Warren Commission testimony that Oswald was not wearing a jacket when he saw him on Jefferson Boulevard. He was not wearing a jacket.
Okay, so as I said,
if I remember correctly, and I'm not looking up like you're doing, I'm not looking up all this testimony stuff. If I recall correctly, Johnny Brewer may have even described the shirt in some detail about whether it was tucked in or the shirt tails or something like that. I can't recall for sure right now, but I can certainly go look.
Okay.
Oswald was not wearing a jacket on Jefferson.
So in his print, so as I thought I was clear before, Johnny Brewer, if you sit down and talk with him, he'll tell you that he never read his printed Warren Commission testimony to check if everything was accurate or everything. He didn't read it until 28 years later.
This is according to Oliver Stone and his film crew, man.
Yeah, they interviewed him.
You don't know that Johnny Brewer ever said such a thing like that. You don't know that if you sit down with Johnny Brewer today, he's going to tell you that Oswald wasn't wearing a jacket. You're just talking about Oliver Stone. You know that the movie JFK.
Sat down and talked with him.
You know the movie JFK wasn't true, right?
They sat down and talked with him, and he said, "No, actually, I never read my Warren Commission testimony until now. When I saw Oswald, he was." And
I call bullshit. I call bullshit on that. I call bullshit on that.
Okay, it's a free country. It's a free country.
No, but you don't have a right to say, if you sit down with Johnny Brewer, he'll tell you. You don't have a right to say that.
Yes, he will.
You're going on hearsay from Oliver Stone's film crew, whoever it was wrote that book about the movie.
Okay, so I guess.
Well, are you going on hearsay or not?
How about Chris?
Will you please answer that question real quick?
How about Chris?
You won't answer the question because you criticize others when they use hearsay, but you won't accept it when you're using hearsay.
I'm not using hearsay. I have a photo of Johnny Brewer on the set of JFK.
How the hell does that prove what he said, supposedly?
In the movie, and he was a advisor to that scene when they showed that scene in the movie of Oswald in his foyer. And what's in the movie? Oswald.
As I told you, as I made you aware, the movie has Oswald wearing a jacket.
Correct. Exactly. Yes.
Because Oliver Stone's going to do that, Matt. That's why. You know, JFK is not a true movie, right? It's not factual.
Okay,
you realize it's fiction. It's Hollywood. It's a movie.
I implore people to get this book, JFK, the book of the film, the documented screenplay. Every single sentence is footnoted, and it's not just the screenplay. There are footnotes, endnotes, articles by many other researchers, reporters, and stuff like that. It's a very interesting book. It has side stories and side notes about them filming, and this was one of them. How Johnny Brewer was a consultant on the movie. That they brought him on the set. I have a picture of him on the set, and he told them, the film crew, this is a major Hollywood film crew, that actually he said, you know what? I never read my Warren Commission testimony until now. And he read it, and he said, actually, Oswald, when I saw him, he was wearing a jacket when I saw him. And that's in the movie that he's wearing a jacket because he's right there on set telling them, how it should look.
He wasn't on set telling them that. Listen. So, okay. So let's throw out his Warren Commission testimony. Throw it out. Okay. His affidavit. Okay. His affidavit on December 6th of 1963, it says, on Friday, November 22nd, 1963, I was at work at Hardy's Shoe Store, 213 West Jefferson. I had heard on the radio that the president had been shot, also that a policeman had been shot in Oak Cliff. About 1:30 p.m., I saw a man standing in the lobby of the shoe store. This man was wearing a brown sports shirt. He also acted scared, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I agree. He was wearing a brown shirt.
He didn't say he was wearing a jacket, Matt. He said he was wearing a brown sports shirt.
So what?
So now we're going to throw out. So now Brewer's Warren Commission testimony has been doctored, and so is his affidavit to the Dallas County. I have never
said that his Warren Commission testimony was doctored, Bill. I've never said that. They asked him
in his Warren Commission testimony. He says the guy was not wearing a jacket.
Could I talk? No, it says it was a yes or no question. It says no. But a no can simply be a mistake.
Oh, come on, stop that. That's bullshit. No, he was asked if Oswald was wearing a jacket, and he said no. And then his affidavit, he says he was wearing a brown sports shirt.
Again, he said they sat down and talked with him, and he said, I never read my warrant.
You don't know that they sat down and talked to him, and he said it.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
You don't know that that's what he said. You're not listening to me.
Okay, then we'll have to contact.
And you think a photo of him talking to someone is proof of what he said? That's absurd too. His affidavit. This man was wearing a brown sports shirt. And then he goes on to describe the way Oswald was acting. He doesn't say anything about him wearing a jacket. He wasn't wearing a jacket. Brewer says in 2 different occasions, the man, he makes no, number one, he's asked if he's wearing a jacket. He says no. The other occasion in his affidavit, he describes the man as wearing a brown sports shirt. Nothing about a jacket. You just need to face it. He wasn't wearing a jacket. You were right last year when you acknowledged he was not wearing a jacket on Jefferson. You don't know why you ditched it. That was a way better answer than this bullshit about what he supposedly told the people that wrote the book for Oliver Stone's movie JFK. It's bullshit. So you're going to criticize the Warren Commission testimony and how Brewer never saw it. What about it? I'm asking you, what about his affidavit? The man was wearing a brown sports shirt. Period.
Brown shirt, yeah, sure. The brown shirt stood out to him more than the jacket. Simple as that. That is
ridiculous, Matt. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely. You want to talk in the beginning about making excuses?
You can yell, but that doesn't make it true, Bill. I'm telling you. Hey, listen. I've been trying to say this 5 times. Chris, call Johnny Brewer up. Have him on your show. Ask him. Do it.
About 1:30 p.m., I saw a man standing in the lobby of the shoe store. This man was wearing a brown sports shirt. He also acted as if he was scared.
So he didn't mention the jacket.
Period. Nothing about the jacket. So what? Do you want to go on to your next topic now, which is the wallet?
No. I'm not going to. No.
Okay.
So
all right.
Hold on. So again, Chris, our host, you still there? Is our host here? Hello?
Let's just keep going. Go on about.
Okay. So Chris can, or you can call him, can have Johnny Brewer on this podcast, on this show right here, and you can ask him.
Good luck with that. The guy doesn't return calls, and I don't blame him.
If I can get a word in, Jesus. So it's simple. The brown shirt made a bigger impact on him more than the jacket. But if you
bullshit.
Okay, you can swear and shout all you want, but that doesn't make it true. I'm telling you.
Bullshit.
Okay, I can tell you. You gonna stop swearing and let me talk? Final word. He will tell you that he never read his Warren Commission testimony until 27 years later. He said,
what about his affidavit when he says the man was wearing a brown sports shirt? He doesn't mention the jacket.
Sports shirt obviously made a bigger impact on him more than the jacket.
That is nonsense, and you're making excuses.
Okay, whatever. So
go on with the wallet, because
call him up, and he'll tell you that Oswald was wearing a brown shirt. I'm sorry, was wearing a jacket.
He will tell you. He will tell you Oswald was wearing a brown shirt, because that's what he said in his affidavit in December.
You don't get to laugh at me. I made a simple mistake.
This man was wearing a brown shirt. Period.
Yes, everyone agrees he was wearing a brown shirt.
Period.
So no, period. He was also wearing a jacket.
No, he wasn't.
If that's true, that proves he didn't kill.
If he was wearing a jacket, he would have said in his affidavit. He would have said he was wearing a jacket in his affidavit.
You don't know that.
The brown sports shirt.
Okay, I've talked to so many witnesses in this case. They tell stuff that little subtle details that they never testified to, because just because it's not in testimony does not mean it didn't happen.
There's no chance that Oswald is wearing a jacket, and all Brewer does is mention a brown sports shirt in his affidavit.
Now, as I told you, okay, we're just going around in circles. I told you.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Obviously, the shirt made a bigger impact on him more than the jacket.
Bullshit.
Matter.